Joe Becker is a New York Times investigative reporter, and her most recent article, Joe Paterno won a sweeter deal, even as scandal played out. And she joins us now. First of all, great work on that, Joe. And summarize what your article pointed out.
Sure. Thanks for having me. Well, what we learned is that way back in January of 2011, right after Joe Paterno found out that he was to testify before the grand jury in the Sandusky matter, he contacted university officials and started renegotiating his contract. And over the next 6 months, renegotiated this contract with Graham Spanier, who by that point had also testified before the grand jury, the college president, and won a pretty sweet deal. It was $5.5 million all told. And in the Board of Trustees was never told about this until the day that they were confronted with the indictments and what to do, and they met. They decided to fire Mr. Paterno. They were sort of given a 50,000-foot view of this contract and decided to honor it. But later, as more details of this contract became apparent, and after Mr. Paterno died, there was a lot of discussion when they sort of went back and looked at it. In retrospect, there was concern about the timing of it. There was discussion about whether they really had to, whether they should make good on the final payments that were due under the contract. And even as late as April this spring, by which point sort of everybody knew the scope of this scandal, the victims were getting ready to testify against Sandusky. The family continued to argue and for different kinds of perks. So they were not satisfied. The contract called, for instance, for the family to have the use of a box for 25 years. It didn't say where. They wanted it next to the president's box, and that was, they were very hard negotiators on that. They wanted the use of the corporate jet that Penn State has at its disposal, and then there was a lot of there was concern among college officials and board members about how this all looked.
But was Paterno planning to step down after the 2011 season?
Yeah, as they negotiated this contract, which was nailed down in August, he was given incentive to step down. So he would get paid $3 million plus some debt forgiveness. That the university had given him some interest-free loans that he'd never made any payments on, and the idea was that he would get paid this money when he stepped down at the end of the 2011 season.
I guess the thing that fascinates me is, the Paterno family was going to go after the Board of Trustees. The defamation lawsuit, how much of a role does that play, or did that play in this?
It did play a role in it. I was told by sources that were involved is that the board was afraid they were afraid to reconsider this contract. One person on a conference call said something about that the rain they'd face the reign of terror again. They had gotten so beaten up for firing Mr. Paterno, and he had an entire sort of PR army, which he still has. He's got PR and lawyers at his disposal, and his family, since he died, has been continuing to kind of put the pressure on the board. And there was concern. There was rumblings that the family was thinking about bringing a defamation lawsuit, and all of that figured into a decision to quickly sort of shut down any talk about not paying him the rest of his contract.
But if you're looking at what the mood is like, if you're going to give the outside world an opportunity to eavesdrop on this, cooperative with the investigation that you had? I mean, you can find people want to get the truth out now and then try to move on with it, because for so many years they covered it up.
Well, it's interesting. I think that there are clearly different camps. I mean, I think there are folks who feel that that they want to get the details of this sort of thing out. They're troubled by it. Maybe they're emboldened a little bit after the Free report because it certainly made a lot of Paterno, ardent Paterno supporters think again about the real role that he played, and perhaps that's emboldened some folks who are troubled by these kinds of arrangements.
But do you have these guys? And I said, people should lose jobs, but then there are people who are looking at prison time, I would think. Did you get that feeling, that sense that people have to understand what exactly went on here, and that these people, who are representing higher education, could be going to prison?
Well, I think a lot of legal experts have taken a look at the Free report and taken a look at the role that some of the senior administrators played, and have raised the question certainly about whether, for instance, Graham Spanier may face some legal proceedings. And certainly the other two college administrators have. I mean, the big question for the Paterno legacy, of course, is what did he know and when did he know it? And the Free report has said that he knew in 1998 about allegations against Jerry Sandusky. That's not what he told the grand jury. Today, though, the family, through its PR and lawyer legal team, has put out a statement saying they're going to do their own investigation of the documents that the Free report studied, and they're very aggressive about protecting his legacy. They said something to the effect of, if people think that the Free report is the last word, they should think again.
Yeah, I just saw that. I got that. I think ESPN.com had it, that the family will conduct its own review. Joe, we appreciate your time, and good luck with further investigations up there.
Thanks for having me.
All right, Joe Becker, New York Times investigative reporter.